All right, guys, so Mr. Freeman's here to help you guys with some homework. We got Tuesday, and it says, number 6, name a composite number that is odd. So a lot of you guys might be thinking, what is a composite number? Well, what's something you guys can do? Can't you look this up possibly on Google or do some sort of search online to see and just type in, what is a composite number? And then let's see what comes up. So when I did my search, I got composite number. So I went to Google, I typed in composite number, and it said a composite number is a positive integer which is not prime. For example, which has factors other than 1 in itself. The first few composite numbers, sometimes called composites for short, are 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16. So which one of these numbers that it gives us is odd? Well, that would be 15, right? And what makes it a composite number is that we can divide into it by more than just one numbers. Like if we were to factor this out, we can multiply 1 times 15, right? But we can also multiply 3 times 5. So our question is asking, what is an odd number that is a composite number? And so that's going to be any odd number that we can multiply into by not just 1 in that number. It has to be something else we can multiply into. So you can also think, let me see here, I'm thinking 3 times 7 equals 21, right? That's an odd number, that's composite. So let's see if you guys can find another one. Try not to use my examples. I'm just helping you guys figure out what a composite number was. All right, so now the next question said, what is the LCM LCM and GCF of 35 and 45? So there's different ways you guys can do it. What I like to do, like I told you guys, is the little ladder method. So what I'm going to do, let me see here. I'm going to do my little ladder. Oh, it didn't turn out very good. Let me try to do that again. Put my phone down so I could draw a little better. There you go. I'm going to put my numbers inside and think, what numbers can I divide into here to that can divide both these numbers by? Well, I know they both end in 5, so I'm going to divide by 5. And let's see what happens when I divide by 5. So if I divide by 5 here, 35 divided by 5 is 7, and 45 divided by 5 is 9. And you can also do it backwards. So 5 times 7 equals 35, right? So I'm trying to use my laser pointer. Here we go. So 5 times 7 equals 35, and 5 times 9 equals 45. So that's all I'm really doing is simplifying. And once you get here, my next number, I can't really simplify any further, right? I'm basically done because nothing goes into 7 and 9 besides 1. So if I'm looking for GCF, it's just going to be this left side. So my GCF equals, let me see if I can move up. My GCF is going to equal, 5. And if I'm looking for my LCM, it's when you make the L shape, right? So we have this whole big L shape. So that means my LCM is going to be 5 times 7 times 9. And that'll be our LCM. So let's see what we get when we do that. Oops. Trying to move it. Okay, so 5 times 7. Oh, you can ignore this, sorry. 5 times 7 is 35, right? So these numbers equal 35. So now I'm just up with 35 times 9. And I can't do that in my head, so I'm going to work it out over here. 9 times 5 is 45. Whoa, I put a 4. And 9 times 3 is 27, plus the 4 that I carried over there, so it's going to be 31. So my LCM is going to be 315. Let me see here. LCM equals 315. I know it's a little sloppy, guys. I don't have very much space when I'm writing on here, so that's why it gets a little crowded sometimes. But my LCM equals 315, GCF equals 5. Use the ladder method. It's my favorite method because you get both GCF and LCM when you use it. You could have also skip counted for your LCM and then done the T charts for the GCF if you wanted to do that as well. All right, so the last one says Bridget has softball practice every third day I'm gonna highlight that. And lacrosse practice every 6th day. So if she has both today, in how many days will she have both again? So if you guys remember in our notes, it said that whenever you see that, like when will something occur again, that's usually an LCM problem. So I am going to, you can either skip count, like 3, 6, 9, 12, and then do it again for the second day, which was 6. So that would be 6, 12, 18, right? And then what's the first day that occurs in both of them? That would be the 6. And so, and how many days will it happen again? It'll be in 6 days. All right. Okay, so here's our last question I'm going to help you with, you guys, today. It says Hunter walks 1 2/5 miles a day. How many miles does he walk in 18 days? So all this is repeated addition, right? I could do 1 2/2. I could do that 18 times, right? 1 2/2, 1 2/2, 1 2. I just keep doing it 18 times. And that's one way to do it. But when you're repeating addition, that means it's multiplication. So what we have to do, if I were to set this up right, it would be 1 2/5 times 18, right? Now, I have an issue here because I can't multiply by a mixed number. So I need to turn this into an improper fraction. So if you guys remember, Mrs. Gonzalez says to do it this way, where you do your backwards C, right? Like you go this way when you're multiplying. So you're going to do 5 times 1, which is 5. Let me get my laser pointer so you can see what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to go 5 times 1, this number, that equals 5, and then I'm going to add the top number. So 5 plus 2 equals 7, right? And then my denominator, which is right here, is just going to stay the same. And then I can multiply times 18. Now 18, I can't do a whole number, but what's cool about whole numbers is that if you ever want to turn it into a fraction, all we have to do is put it over 1. And then now we can multiply across. So let me see here. We have, if I multiply across the top, 7 times 18, and then 5 times 1, right? So I don't know what 7 times 18 is, so I'm going to work it out on the bottom here. 7 times 8 equals 56. Bring my 5 over here. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 5 is 12. So now I'm going to have 126 over 5. Now, we can't leave our number like this because we don't want to leave it as an improper fraction. Our number on top, this guy right here, is too big, right? It's bigger than the bottom number, our denominator. So that means we need to turn that back into a mixed number. So the way to do that is, just think of In-N-Out, one of our favorite food places, right? So 126 goes in and 5 goes out. And now 5 times 2 becomes 10. I can subtract and bring down my 6. 5 times 5 equals 25. I can subtract and bring down my 1. So I'm left with 25 and 1/5. And what was it talking about? It was talking about miles, right? So that's what we would call it, miles. I know I gave you guys a lot of answers today. Sorry about that. I usually like to leave you guys without the answers so you can solve the rest on your own. But please, please, please make sure you're watching it and learning. I don't want you guys just to skip through to the answers. That's not what this is for. Good luck, guys. I'm not going to do number 10. You guys, I would Google it if you don't know what prime factorization is. We talked about it in class. But if you don't remember, just hit a Google search and see what it tells you, and come to class with questions if you're still confused. All right. Have a good, guys. Mr. Freena signing off. Bow.